President Museveni is definitely one of Africa's popular leaders, especially now more than ever, because it seems like he says it how he sees it, and it's becoming more and more now that he's getting older and older. And as you know, he's been the president of Uganda for 30 plus years. That's a long time to stay in that position. So some call him a dictator, some love him to bits, and some people find him very entertaining. But one thing is for sure, no matter who his audience is, he'll say what he wants to say, and usually it gets him in trouble, but nowadays it's getting him more supporters than before. Let me show you a clip of his talking about how foreigners failed in 3 tests.
The foreigners have failed the test. The foreigners, professor from Germany, I'm telling you that the foreigners have failed 2 tests, according to my assessment. Number 1, they have failed my tribal test. Because in my tribe, there is no way you can say that because I have a problem, I don't care about my brother who also have the same problem. No way. In my tribe, it can never happen. Yes, I have a problem, but if my brother has a problem, I will share the ritual I have with him to solve my problem, but also address his. This is my tribal code. And this was tested when the corona was starting. Because here in East Africa, we had the problem of sanitizers. Ugandans drink a certain strong gin from bananas called waragi. It's a strong gin, they normally poison themselves with it, and they like it. But that gin, if you distill it more, it produces a very good sanitizer. So when the crisis started, only Uganda was producing sanitizers in East Africa. So some of my people said, we should not allow East Africa to import the sanitizer because we need it. I said, no. In my tribe, that's not allowed. What you should do, you can say you keep like 40% for yourselves, but let the 60% be shared by the East Africans. That was my tribal constitution. I cannot. So the foreigners have failed. 0 marks on my tribal code. But they have also failed on the Christian. You remember, I had a rumor that there were Christians in the world. That's what we hear. We hear that there are Christians in America, there are Christians in Europe, there are Christians. These people have failed on the Christian test. So we are going to look for the vaccine for the short run, but also they have failed on the test of strategy, because we now know that they don't care about us. Thank you very much. Yes, some of us may die, but our children will now know that these are not people to depend on.
I understand why people find him entertaining, because there were a few moments where I laughed out loud. particularly when he said 0 marks. It was pretty funny, and he's right. He's spot on. I believe this clip is a bit older because if you've noticed, the audiences are wearing masks. And as you know, there was a time where we all were forced to wear masks. Now, not a lot of people actually wear masks. It's like that disease disappeared, right? So clearly, this is right after the COVID situation, and he is particularly talking about how the Western world reacted when it comes to the vaccine or sharing the sanitizers, the masks, all the equipments that they had in that moment Africa didn't have. But this was bittersweet, to be honest, because it taught us the same way he said our children now know never to depend on others, which is a beautiful learning, although a lot of people had to lose their lives for us to understand that that is the case. But regardless, it's still a learning. But he made 3 points, actually 3 tests that he believes the West failed. The first one being his tribal test, which is sharing. He said they get 0 for that. And the second one was religion. He said, you guys claim that you're Christians, but you don't follow the values of Christianity. And the third and the biggest point he made, I believe, is the strategy. He said that they failed in strategy because he said, even though many of us will die, our children now know not to trust you. So strategically, you fumbled. Strategically, going forward, our children and the next generation won't trust you and depend on you, which is the greatest lesson that we've learned, I believe. I understand there were many people already that knew that this is the way to go and you should not trust the West or refuse their aid or any kind of military support that they give us. But the majority of the people were not in tune. They didn't understand what's really going on. So this opened a lot of people's eyes. And as I said, it's a bittersweet situation. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about what Museveni said about foreign nations. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.